might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
The Film Lounge presents...
Spoiler-free movie review!
First you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on!
with Chris Gooch.
I'm the dude.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
Jar Binks, Jake Lloyd and Midichlorians. These are all things that ruined many fully grown men's childhood memories of a film series about incest, genocide and a super dysfunctional father-son relationship that's actually not Game of Thrones. Star Wars The Force Awakens is arguably the most anticipated movie of the last 30 years. And when the driving force behind the series revival is the nostalgia for the original trilogy, the big question is, will this new film live up to the astronomical expectations that many people have built up in their heads?
The Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it.
Okay, look. The honest truth is, I'm just not the biggest Star Wars fan. I was born 2 years after A New Hope, and I was just too young to remember seeing Return of the Jedi in the cinemas, so I didn't really get the chance to fully digest the original trilogy properly until my early teens. In hindsight, I think they only ever made 2 good Star Wars films. Jedi was the start of everything getting very silly and slapsticky, whilst the prequels only appear to get better because they are only slight improvements on the definition of disappointment that is The Phantom Menace. Of course, when reviewing the Star Wars saga, there are 2 approaches you can take. The first is to overlook the things that you would normally criticize in other films because this is Star Wars. The second approach is to over-criticize elements of the film that you would normally overlook in other movies because it's Star Wars. So, for full disclosure, I'm not going to be reviewing The Force Awakens with the rose-tinted nostalgia glasses that many fans will do. So let's get to it. How does J.J. Abrams' journey into the galaxy far, far away hold up to the original trilogy and the prequels?
Chewie, we're home.
The great thing is that everything that is old is new again. Abrams has found a way to keep the core elements of Star Wars that were missing from the prequels there for everyone to enjoy, but he's added new characters that just fit perfectly in this world. As a matter of fact, it's the new characters of the franchise that probably are the most exciting. Sure, it's great to see Han and Chewie and Leia and eventually Luke, but it's the new cast members that really keep your attention once you get past the nostalgia factor. Daisy Ridley and John Boyega bounce effortlessly off one another, while some of the other characters' screen times may be short-lived, such as Oscar Isaac and Andy Serkis. They are clearly being set up for bigger roles in future films. But it is honestly Adam Driver's Kylo Ren who really does steal the show in my opinion. He has all the makings of a villain like Darth Vader, but there's an emotional range to his character that we haven't seen in other Star Wars movies. As a matter of fact, it's one of the film's strongest points. All the characters, old and new, have an emotional core that isn't cringeworthy like the prequels, or, for the most part, missing from the original trilogy.
It's true. All of it.
One of the really surprising things about the film is how funny it is. You are gonna laugh. Like, a lot in this film. There are so many funny moments that are natural and don't feel forced that, as a result, all the humour really hits their marks effortlessly. There is probably only one unintentionally funny scene in the film when one of the villains makes a speech, which is so over the top that you can just see the tears forming in his eyes as he overacts his way into laughing gold. Aside from that, we have all the traditional Star Wars wipes, musical cues and opening crawl to help keep things familiar, but one of the great things that Abrams has done is the camera work. We get nice long takes where the camera just moves in and out of practical environments as they follow characters. And there's also incredible amounts of depth in every shot that doesn't end up looking like just 2 dudes walking around in front of a green screen. The mixture of practical effects and CGI blends in a way where one never overpowers the other, and it reminds you where Lucas's prequels really did go wrong.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
As great as the film is, there are some elements that just don't always work. We have plot holes all over the shop, whilst there are story threads that are introduced and then just kind of forgotten about. Characters, both new and old, constantly seem to be talking in expositional foreshadowing, to the point that you can pretty much predict where their character's storyline is going within their first 2 scenes. Some interesting cast members are introduced and then completely underused. Seriously, if you're holding your breath to see the cast of The Raid in action, maybe just lower your expectations with respect to that. Honestly, I think it's really, really good. It's not perfect, but it is really good. Fans of the original trilogy will feel more than satisfied with the way J.J. Abrams has just littered the film with references and Easter eggs to episodes 4 to 6. However, if you're a fan looking for something more, you're gonna have to be reliant on the new characters of the series, because ultimately, The Force Awakens treads too much familiar ground from A New Hope to feel completely fresh. If I had one criticism, it would be that J.J. Abrams was too much of a slave to the original series. Star Wars The Force Awakens gets 4 out of 5 stars. Or 4 out of 5 middle-aged men sobbing uncontrollably in the aisles when the credits roll.
The Force, it's calling to you. Just let it in.